Hi, humans. Let's talk about your DNA, the little spiral-shaped autobiography you didn't write, but it still tells all your embarrassing secrets. Inside it, clues about whether you're built for survival or just built for confusing your doctor. Today, we're counting down 10 rare genetic traits that make you one part science experiment, one part party trick. Some of these traits are genuinely impressive. You probably wouldn't die in the first 15 minutes of a zombie apocalypse. Impressive. Others, let's just say they're the equivalent of getting an exclusive VIP pass to a nightclub that plays only elevator music. But either way, they're the stuff that makes people say, wait, is that even possible? And yes, some of them are straight up useless, like a biological app running in the background, eating up energy but never doing anything important. But you're still special, statistically rare, the kind of person science interns whisper about in lab hallways. So buckle up, because whether you're the human version of a cheat code or just the proud owner of some extremely weird biological accessories, you're about to find out how freakishly unique your DNA might be. You know how most people break a bone doing something dumb like tripping over a shoelace, slipping in the shower, or heroically trying to carry all the grocery bags in one trip? That's not you. You're built different, literally, somewhere. Deep in your DNA, the LRP5 gene looked osteoporosis dead in the eye and said, "Not on my watch." Your bones are denser than most people's hopes and dreams. We're talking construction grade, medieval battering ram levels of dense. Medical scans bounce off you like you're wearing plot armor. Dentists? Terrified? Furniture? Nervous? You don't just survive accidents, you leave dents in the pavement. Sure, you're not completely unbreakable. This isn't a Marvel origin story, but physics does a little side negotiation before it messes with you. The rest of us are walking around like fragile glassware in a bumpy delivery truck. You're basically a solid oak dining table with legs made of pure stubbornness. And while the rest of us are snapping ankles on curbs, you're out here walking through life like a mid-level video game boss fight no one signed up for? Stop. Most people's eyeballs come with the standard factory settings. 3 cones for detecting red, green, and blue. It's enough to see sunsets, traffic lights, and whether your avocado is plotting against you. But you've got the ultra premium. Retinal upgrade. Tetrachromacy. 4 cones. 4 channels. Your reasons the world looks like it's been cranked up to psychedelic fever dream mode. Sunsets don't just look pretty. They hit you like a full-blown religious awakening sponsored by Mother Nature herself. While the average person sees pink, you see 37 microshades of emotional betrayal. A trip to the paint store for you is like being screamed at by an aggressive rainbow. Every aisle is an optical mosh pit. Artists envy you. Scientists want to study you. Your phone camera? Deeply ashamed. The worst part, you can't explain it. You'll say the sky looks weird today, and everyone around you will look at. You just confessed to licking a crayon? You didn't ask to be born with butterfly vision? But here you are living in a world way too dull for your ocular glory. You know how most people need 8 hours of sleep just to function like a half-decent human? Not you. You're basically running on cheat codes. Thanks to a microscopic tweak in your DECTA gene, your body has decided that rest is optional and domination is mandatory. For hours in bed, and you're up before sunrise? Ready to reorganize your spice rack by emotional tone, write a novella, and still have time to glare judgmentally at the rest of us as we shuffle around like damp laundry. Sleep scientists hate you partly because you break all their theories, but mostly because they're jealous. Your friends think you're possessed, but no, it's just your DNA flexing on everyone. You're the biological equivalent of a hummingbird that's read The Art of War cover to cover. And no, it's not coffee doing this. It's you. Wired directly from the factory for high-efficiency living, while the rest of us are still hitting snooze for the 3rd time. For most people, food is just food. Tastes good? Cool. Doesn't? Oh, well, but eating is a full-scale sensory interrogation. Your TAS2R38 gene has turned your tongue into a suspicious detective, and every bite is treated like a potential crime scene. Bitterness? You taste it in 4K Ultra HD? Sweetness? Practically a sugar assault? Cilantro? A betrayal in leafy form? Broccoli? Feels like punishment from a vengeful lunch lady. And don't even get you started on black coffee, it's emotionally. Abuse in a mug. Your friends think you're just picky, but the truth is, you're cursed with the ability to taste at a molecular level. You're the Sherlock Holmes of Flavor X, except the cases are all salads, and the villains are cruciferous vegetables. Menus are minefields, and trying new foods is basically agreeing to a blindfolded obstacle course for your mouth. World wasn't built for your tongue, but in the secret realm of the genetically elite, your taste buds wear a crown and rule with iron judgment. Stope. Picture summer. Your friends are outside turning into an alucanite buffet for mosquitoes, slapping themselves into a frenzy, marinating in citronella candles. And you stroll through the same bug-infested chaos like you've got a personal force field. Mosquitoes don't even notice you exist. You're not less tasty, you're invisible. Your body simply doesn't release the chemical dinner bell they're listening for, thanks to a quirky variation in your ABCC11 gene. To them, you smell wrong, which in mosquito language means not worth the trouble, scientists politely call this reduced mosquito attractiveness. But let's be honest, it's genetic revenge for every camping trip that turned into a blood donation drive. Your friends glare at you from inside their itchy, wealth-covered nightmare while you stand there, pure and untouched, like some smug mosquito ghost. Most people hit the genetic jackpot with one neat row of eyelashes. You, on the other hand, showed up to the DNA lottery and said, "I'll take 2, thanks." That's right, Disticacea says, a second set of lashes, as if your eyes came with a built-in accessory pack. On paper, it sounds glamorous, like you were born ready for a mascara commercial. In reality, sometimes it's irritation. Sometimes it's your eyeball wondering why it's being gently attacked by silk every time you blink. Evolution basically looked at your face and said, "Let's accessorize." Ancient pharaohs might have called it divine. Modern optometrists just sigh and grab a magnifying lens. You don't just blink, you double blink. It's like your eyelids brought back up to every eye movement. Sure, it's a rare beauty flex, until you're trying to explain to someone that no, you didn't glue these on. You grew them like some majestic alien strutting through the savanna of the human gene pool. For most people, walking into a room is simply smell lavender or coffee, or maybe someone burned toast. But you've been cursed with hyperosmia, which basically turns your nose into a biological surveillance drone. Your olfactory receptors are so sensitive, you don't just smell the cookies baking, you'll smell the stress of the person baking them. You walk into an office and immediately detect 3 types of mold, 2 lies, and exactly what the janitor had for breakfast last Tuesday. Perfume counters, war zones, subway rides, pure olfactory torture chambers. You once identified a friend's breakup purely by the shift in their pheromones, and they hadn't even told anyone yet. To normal humans, the world is a faint whiff. To you, it's a full-blown stench opera, and unfortunately, you're the conductor. Sure, it's a rare gift, but it also means you've probably wished you could switch your nose off at least once a day. Most people's ears just sit there quiet, polite, doing their job of funneling sound into the brain without drawing attention. But you can make the move. You've unlocked auricular muscle control, a leftover trick from our primate ancestors, who used to swivel their ears to detect tigers sneaking up behind them. For humans today, it's utterly useless. It's absolutely hilarious. While the rest of us are stuck with motionless lobes, you've got these twitchy little side flaps that perform on command. It's like having eyebrows, but on the sides of your head throwing a secret dance party. No, it won't save your life, and no, you can't hear better because of it, but in a world full of static ears, you're the suspicious woodland creature who can silently whisper, "Yes, I am different. Deal with it." Most humans come with the standard issue, 12 pairs of ribs, functional, symmetrical, predictable. But your skeleton looked at the blueprint, decided to freelance sprouting a bonus 13th rib right out of your neck like an overachieving fence post. This rare quirk is called a cervical rib, and evolution considers it a throwback feature, kind of like how whales still have tiny bones where their legs used to be. Sometimes it just sits there quietly, doing nothing except confusing X-ray techs. Other times it pinches nerves, messes with blood flow, or gives you that weird bump you didn't order. Doctors see it as a rare anatomical curveball, can just call it an add-on package from the factory. Sure, it might cause trouble now and then, but on the bright side, you're a limited edition model. Your scalp didn't get the memo about hair should grow in one direction. Instead, you've got two whirlwind tornadoes of follicular chaos spinning in opposite directions like they're locked in an eternal turf war. This double crown is rare, inherited, and absolutely relentless. Hats never fit quite right. Barbers, treat your head like a puzzle with no solution, and styling it. Forget it. You could dump an entire bottle of gel on there and still end up looking like you stuck your head out of a car window during a hurricane. Ancient myths claimed a double crown meant royalty or psychic powers. Reality says it just means your hair refuses to obey the laws of physics, doesn't lie flat. Orbits. Twice. Stop. So, let's take stock of what we've learned so far. You might be walking around with bones that could moonlight as medieval weaponry, eyes that process color like an art museum on acid, or a sleep schedule that makes the rest of us look like sloths on sedatives. Your tongue could be running a flavor crime lab. Your skin might be a mosquito's worst nightmare. And your eyelids could be rocking double the fringe for double the drama. Maybe your nose is out here solving mysteries nobody asked for. Your ears are throwing microdance moves. Your skeleton's got bonus parts, and your hairline is running its own weather system. Basically, if you've got any of these, you're somewhere between genetic anomaly and walking science exhibit, and the rest of us are just trying to keep up. And yes, some of these traits are practical, some are pure chaos, but all of them are proof that your DNA is out here freelancing without your consent. Here's the thing about having a rare trait. People notice. Sometimes they're fascinated, like you're a limited edition Pokemon card they just pulled from a booster pack. Other times, they treat you like a science experiment, peppering you with questions, poking at you literally or verbally, or telling you some distant relative had that too, as if it's a family heirloom. Cultures have been slapping myths onto unusual features for centuries. Double crowns, signs of royalty, extra ribs, a mark of divine favor, hyperasmia, clearly you're part bloodhound. But in day-to-day life, these quirks can make you either the cool party story or the awkward icebreaker no one asked for. People might envy your mosquito immunity until they realize it comes packaged with nose that smells heartbreak. They might admire your unbreakable bones until they realize you still stub your toe like the rest of us. Rare traits live in that strange space between wow, you're special, and wow, that's weird. And you just have to learn to nod, smile, and let them wonder. Living with a rare genetic trait can be a trip for your self-esteem. On one hand, you've got bragging rights because not everyone can say, oh yeah, my bones could probably survive a car crash, or I can see colors that technically don't exist for you. On the other hand, standing out can feel like walking around with a neon sign over your head that says, look at me, I'm different. Humans are wired to want to belong, but DNA doesn't always cooperate it sometimes. Hands you a personality accessory you never ordered. Over time, these quirks can shape how you see yourself. Maybe you lean into it, building your identity around being the weird smell person or the one who never sleeps. Or maybe you try to downplay it so you can just blend in with the rest of the gene pool. Either way, rare traits become part of your personal narrative, equal parts fun fact and secret curse. It's a balancing act between enjoying the novelty and not letting it define you completely, kind of like owning a pet peacock. Impressive? Yes. Practical? Not so much. So, there you have it, 10 genetic curveballs that prove your DNA isn't just quietly keeping you alive. It's out here freelancing as a mad scientist. Maybe you're a mosquito-proof, color-seeing, iron-boned night owl with hair that defies physics. Or maybe you're just rocking one rare upgrade that makes you the envy or the confusion of everyone you meet. Either way, you're proof that evolution still likes to have a little fun with the blueprint. If you've got one of these traits, congratulations, you're officially a limited edition human. If you don't, well, you're still pretty great, just slightly more common. Now go ahead, share this with your friends. See who else might be hiding mutant-level skills, and maybe compare notes on which traits are worth keeping. And hey, hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell if you want more deep dives into the strange, useless, and occasionally amazing ways our bodies betray us. Until next time, keep being your weird, wonderful self, and try not to break any coffee tables.
Tap.